So once again, Ice Cube is back in the news. Now, if we go back in time, back to the election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, Ice Cube had came out with a contract for Black America. And Ice Cube was sharing this contract of Black America. He had talked to people like Dr. Claude Anderson and many other great minds in the Black community about what we need. Ice Cube took away from his movies and his status to get involved to try to help Black people. Ice Cube did not have to do that whatsoever. Ice Cube was doing his movies and everything else that he was doing. But Ice Cube felt that, you know what? Yes, I'm doing great. Yes, I got millions of dollars. Yes, I got notoriety, but I need to try to help my people, because just because I'm doing good doesn't mean I don't want to see my people do good. So Ice Cube made the sacrifice to get out there and start talking about a contract with Black America. Now, the mistake that all of the Democrat Shills felt that he made was he had the idea of talking to Democrats and talking to Republicans. His idea that he wanted to talk to Trump and he wanted to talk to Biden. He wanted to talk to both of them. And the only one that even gave an ear to anything was Donald Trump. It wasn't even Biden. Biden didn't even have a meeting with him whatsoever. Biden told him, yeah, look, if I win, I'll talk to you. He said the same thing to Black Lives Matter, which was Black Lives Matter went to bankruptcy, but that's a podcast of a different day. He didn't want to talk to Black Lives Matter, which was already a grift, all filled up with white progressive liberals. That's who was organizing and running that, but using a Black woman's face as the front. So Ice Cube was attacked by many people for having a contract of Black America. He went over there with Boulay Martin. Boulay Martin attacked him. He went over there with Vivica and them with Cocktails with Queens. And then they started asking, well, do you have something specific for Black women? He said, it's a contract with Black America. That includes men and women. No. We need a section just for Black women. See, when I would have heard that, I wouldn't even want to talk to him. I said, so you don't care about Black people? You only care about a gender? I said, and that's the problem. I say, them kind of Black folks, we don't need to be even dealing with at this point. Because you dealing with your so-called gender, how is that working out for you? Work better as a people together. So right now, Ice Cube came out on a podcast and people are upset once again with Ice Cube. Why? Because Ice Cube had made a comment about the Democrat Party in relation to Black America. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Like, Black people have supported Democrats, overwhelmingly for 50, 60 years. And nothing has changed. So something's got to change.
As you heard, Ice Cube said that Black people have been supporting Democrats and nothing has changed. Now, Black people have started overwhelmingly voting Democrat in 1964. That's the time when they started to really vote Democrat. And we know because of the Civil Rights Act, it just exploded with Black people voting Democrat. And ever since then, the Black community have been voting overwhelmingly 85 to up to 95, sometimes 97% Democrat. The Democrat Party never have to worry about Black people. Black people is the only group that show up in a block to vote. Every other group, it's kind of split down the middle. They vote Democrat, they vote Republican. But we have this symbiotic relationship with the Democrat Party. We have people out here that even say that we built the Democrat Party. And I'm like, where is your evidence that Black America built the Democrat Party? We have voted for them religiously. I'll give you that. But we didn't build the Democrat Party and we don't control the Democrat Party whatsoever. There's people out there, they have said we can't just abandon the party. We need to hold a foot to the fire. We need to do this. We need to do that because they feel this, like I said, this loyalty to the Democrats. You have other people talking about vote down ballot, but vote Democrat. Always Democrat. Not saying, you know what? Let's vote on a policy for Black people. Hey, if that Republican got a policy, we'll go with them. If the Democrat got a policy for black people, we'll go with them. If nobody got a policy for black people, we sit it out. That's how you should really supposed to vote. You don't vote on no party, you vote on policy and whoever gonna give us tangibles. See, if the black community was on that, our votes would be actually powerful. Then I really would be behind, hey, yeah, let's go ahead, galvanize and get out there and vote for this and vote for that. Because now we really using power at that point. What kind of power you have voting for one party? No, and then this is the thing. I know a lot of black Americans right now is very upset with Biden, but are you upset enough to make a difference? So after Ice Cube had made this statement, the Democrat Shills on clockwork, doing their job, saying the exact same things they always say. But let me go ahead and put this tweet up. So that you can see here, this John Varner guy. Ice Cube only shows up every 4 years to tell black people to vote for Republicans who are openly suppressing the black vote, whitewashing / banning black history, and killing diversity, equity, inclusion programs that support black folks. He says, hard pass. I'll get to Ice Cube here in a minute. Diversity, equity, and inclusion programs is not for black people. We got hip to the word minority. We know minority doesn't mean black. So what they did, those especially on the Democrat side, well, let's not say minorities, let's say diversity, equity, and inclusion. But diversity, equity, and inclusion is just another way of saying minority. Now, in diversity, equity, and inclusion is white women. In diversity, equity, and inclusion is white LGBT. What's in diversity, equity, and inclusion is white disabled. Now, let's get to Asians. Let's get to Indians, Arabs, Hispanics, Native Americans, and then black. That's usually how it goes. So you got all these different groups in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And let me tell you something. The one who's going to benefit the most off of diversity, equity, and inclusion is the white people. They're going to benefit the most out of those programs. And then after them, it's going to be every other group except black folk. So now we back to the same old of the minority game, where black folks get nothing. The only thing that benefits black folks is a specific program that says black Americans. If it don't say that, it's not benefiting us solely. I'd rather somebody say we're going to hire 20 black people, and that's what we're going to do. I'd rather go with that than a diversity, equity, inclusion. And also in diversity, equity, inclusion, don't forget undocumented aliens. Don't forget about them either. They're in the mix. So there you go. The Democrat Party hasn't done nothing for black people. Nothing. Democrats, Chicago, want to take away from the black community and give it to people that just came across the border. Talking about they seeking asylum. And they jump black Americans who've been in this country for hundreds of years, been paying taxes in this country for hundreds of years, and now Chicago want to take $51 million of taxpayer money and use it for them, but won't use it for black folk in Chicago that's homeless at the rate of 76%. The majority of the homeless in Chicago are black Americans. This is what your Democrat Party is doing to black folk. This is what they're doing. So when Ice Cube said that nothing has changed, oh yes, actually a lot has changed, Ice Cube. It's worse for black America now than what it was in 1964. In 1964, most of us can remember our grandparents, etc., all owned their homes. Today, black folk can't afford to buy a home. Look at the inflation. Look at, you can't even get an apartment no more because they talking about 3 times the rent, 700, 800 credit score. Black Americans are doing worse today underneath this Democrat president that you got. This Democrat president, Biden, said that you voted for him and he got your back and he ain't had nothing but turning his back to you and giving his behind the kiss. That's been it with Biden ever since he been in office. Kamala, I don't know what she doing. I don't know what she's doing. To me, now, if you want to talk about a true diversity hire, that's Kamala, because she don't do nothing at all. But how is the Democrat Party benefiting black people? Did our incarceration rate drop dramatically under Democrats? Actually, the Democrats you got in office authored the 1994 crime bill. He called it Biden's Law and shot mass incarceration up. Why don't we have a Biden's Law in 2023 for all them fentanyl and crystal meth users? Oh, but we're not going to have that because that's going to touch them folks. So we're not going to have no Biden's Law. See, where's even the Republicans? We're talking about tough on crime. You'll never hear them talking about tough on crime when it comes about that crystal meth and fentanyl use. All of a sudden, it's a health issue now. It's not lock them up, criminals, and throw the key away. And it was none of that for them folks. But for us, we had Biden's Law. Democrat. Supposed to be our friends, right? Look at how Democrats respond to reparations. Gavin Newsom say, okay, I'm going to dangle a carrot. I'm going to create a reparations commission. And then when they actually come back and say, okay, we recommend this much in cash payments to black Americans. Oh, I don't know. Well, reparations is more than just cash payments now. We already doing some of the things they recommend anyway. Reparations has shown that the Democrats is no different than the Republican on the paying black Americans reparations. As I said before, reparations is the litmus test to find out if they're really for you or not. And a lot of the Democrats do not want black people to get reparations because they know it's going to level the playing field. Now, let's go back to this tweet here. So Ice Cube says, I never told you see here, who to vote for. So stop lying and get that clickbait out of your mouth. Now, at the bottom, John says, telling black folks to dish the Democrat Party is telling people who to vote for. We currently have a two-party system. Is there no problem holding Democrats accountable, but you got no smoke for Trump, MAGA, and the Republican Party? Wonder why. That kind of response comes from a Democrat think tank. They go and strategize what the messaging going to be. And they have a bunch of people that's doing this online. Anytime someone says something about the Democrats, what they're not doing for black people, they literally have a script of what they're reading, what to say back to you as a black person. They always say, well, it's okay to criticize them. It's okay to hold them accountable, but they never do. None of these accounts or people, the Shills or whoever, hold them accountable. What they do, they come out here and try to promote Democrat to black people who don't do nothing for us at all. They pay celebrities. They pay certain influencers. They pay whoever to promote Democrat. Then after the election, you don't see these people no more. They're not talking about politics or anything. The ones that are trying to get us to go vote for the Democrat Party. They have not done nothing for us, people. And they always say, well, why don't you say them to Trump? Trump is not in office. Remember, you got him out. MAGA, what MAGA got anything to do with it? The Republicans, you don't vote for them. You vote 87% in the last election Democrat. So what I'm going to say to them, I liken you to this. You're the type of person that goes to the same restaurant every day. And then eventually you start complaining about the restaurant, but you don't go nowhere else. Then somebody presents you, say, hey, well, they got another restaurant over here. Why don't you try that? Oh, no, I can't leave this restaurant. I helped build this restaurant. No, you didn't build anything. You show up to eat there every day, but you didn't build anything. But in your mind, you thinking, I built the restaurant because I'm always going over there to eat. Okay, fine. So then eventually you get tired and say, you know what, maybe I'll try that other restaurant that person told me about. Then you go to the other restaurant and say, oh, wow, the service is better, the food is better. Why was I sitting out here playing with this restaurant that I've been playing with all these years? Why have I been doing that? You know what I'm saying? And then you say, oh, man, I'm going to go to the new spot because, hey, it's so much better for me to go to this new spot. And that's how a lot of you are. And I'll tell you this, you vote policy. You do not vote a party. If the Democrats don't give you what we need as black people, you don't vote for them. If the Republicans won't give you what you need as a black person, you don't vote for them either. You sit it out. It is very powerful if we got to a point that we say, you know what, reparations, or we're not voting for you. But then I just saw a video from the Associated Press interviewing black people in South Carolina, and oh my God. I see why Clyburn stayed in office that long. I see why. They just gonna vote Democrat. They don't care what happened to black people. No matter how poor black people are in South Carolina, they don't care. They're gonna go out and vote Democrat. And this is why no one takes us seriously as a community. No one. Well, all you're gonna do is go vote Democrat and they don't have to do nothing for you. I would get it if they actually had to do something for us as a community. I would understand that. Or they have always been doing something for us as a community. The only thing that the Democrats would do for you in South Carolina through Clyburn is a fish fry. You can do your own freaking fish fry if you want to at your house. But you just excited about getting some free fish instead of worrying about the policy. That's why I told y'all many times before, we participate in our own oppression. We will attack any black person that try to get you to do something just a little different, but you want to complain while everybody else is getting over you. You want to complain about that, but you don't want to do nothing different to try to fix or change our situation as Black America. Now, on the individual level, I'm not worrying about what a lot of you got going on, but on a collective level, I'm a part of that collective. And what y'all doing is hurting me, hurting my children on a collective level by constantly going out and vote for these people. Do you know it's sad when you have to even consider moving to another place that's not even where you originally, your family's at? Because it's gotten that bad and it's continued to get that bad, and our people just don't see the writing on the wall because we are sitting up here having this savior syndrome. You really look at a Democrat as your savior. Instead of looking at let's collectively get together as black people and do things on our own. We don't need nobody's help for anything. Yes, we can take advantage of a government program to assist us in what we're doing, but some of you don't want to do that. You're the only group of people that feel like it's your solemn duty to go out and vote Democrat. It's the truth. And you get nothing out the deal. Nothing. I don't want to hear no talk about Republicans when you don't vote for them. Now, when you start voting for them at 87% and they don't do nothing for you, hey, I'm with you. Let's get the Republicans at that point, because now you're voting for them. And now we have a reason to go. But then other people could tell you, well, let's say the Republicans don't do nothing for you. Well, you say the Democrats, they never do nothing for you. I just don't understand y'all. I don't understand y'all at all. Why are you like that? Why? It's like you have a slave mentality. You really do. Because slaves don't expect nothing. Slaves just serve and do for others. They don't expect anyone to treat them right. They don't expect anyone to respect them. They don't expect anything. They're just put here to serve. And a lot of you are political slaves. You're political slaves. You just show up, vote for Democrat, and don't expect nothing in return. And matter of fact, you're happy with it. You're happy. Because you're telling me you're happy because you don't do nothing about it. So if Ice Cube say something's going on, something is wrong, we got to figure this thing out. Yes, we have to figure this thing out. But how much more do somebody got to talk to you? How much more somebody got to keep trying to beat the drum in your head about what's going on? I have witnessed election cycle after election cycle after election cycle while me doing this, what I'm doing. Every 2 years there's an election, and you're so predictable to go run your behind out there to vote for the same people that give us nothing in return. It's like you love to lose and complain on others when they come in and actually take advantage and win. You should have never let off the Democrats about the George Floyd bill. You should have never let off the Democrats about an anti-black hate crime bill. You should have never let off the Democrats about reparations. The first 2 years Biden in there, he had a Democrat Congress and Senate, and you still let them get away with trying to put it on Joe Manchin, put it on Christian Sinema. Because that filibuster, that is a rule. That's not a law. They could have done something for black folk, and they did not. And you didn't raise no hell about it. Now it's because you're feeling the pain in the grocery store. You're feeling the pain at the gas pump. You're feeling the pain when you're trying to buy a house or anything else you're trying to get. Now you're feeling the pain. Now you're disgruntled. But the sad part is the majority of you, election day, go run out and go vote Democrat. It's the truth. You literally programmed to vote Democrat. You're not programmed to think for yourself. All the issues in the black community that we could be shaming each other over, notice the only shame you get if you don't go out and vote Democrat. That's the shame they go at you. They don't shame you about criminality, Pookie and Ray Ray. They don't shame you. They don't shame any of these deadbeat dads, deadbeat moms in our community. Just making babies, spitting them out and getting them on government assistance and putting those children in a horrible situation. We don't shame that. We don't shame it. If we try to shame it, oh, well, Phil, now see, I was with you until you said that. That's what happened last night on my other podcast. I mentioned something about the single parent epidemic in our community. Well, Phil, you know, I liked everything you said until that. Why you liked everything I said until then? Why? Because you don't want nobody talking about what we should be shaming in our community. It is shameful for a bunch of women and men to make children and not take care of them. It is shameful that you didn't get married first, then have your children and raise those children together. Yes, that should be looked at as shameful. Period. From the men and the women. Our children are suffering, not having a proper family structure, but we don't supposed to say nothing about that. You cool with me talking about white supremacy all day, but the moment I talk about this community and what we're doing, then that's a problem. That's another reason why we got so much degeneracy in the black community, because we do not want no one, I don't care, within even the community, to speak on this degenerate behavior that we're engaging in as a community. Then you wonder why we're not getting nowhere. You're voting Democrat, then you don't want nobody to check you on wrong behavior, but the only time we can shame somebody is they don't go out and vote Democrat. It's the truth, and you know it. You know it. And there's going to be more and more of that. The attack's going to be heavy. You know, eventually Boulay Martin, he's going to circle around, probably back to me again, because he talked about me before another election, right? And the Boulay Martin, if he targets me in specific, I respond. You know, I love to respond to Boulay Martin if he says something to me. That's fun. But you know, he's one of the biggest Democrat shills, literally. And then he get mad when you call him a Democrat shill. Like, dude, that's what you are. You're not advocating for black people. You're advocating for the Democrat Party. The Congressional Black Caucus, what do? Nothing for black people. They don't have to do nothing for black people. That's the thing, because you don't make them. We are politically stuck on stupid, literally. And I can't stand people willingly participating in our own downfall as a collective. So Ice Cube, what he said, he shouldn't have been attacked for. It's the truth. Deal with the truth in this community. Deal with it. So I'm trying to get mad because somebody say what the black community is actually doing in America. You don't like it, turn it around, change it, fix it. You got 2024. But sad to what I'm about to say, I just think personally a lot of us is too far gone. And I'll share that particular video that I just saw tonight, tomorrow on the next podcast. It is utterly ridiculous how black folks, even after all the things that the Democrats have done to us, didn't deliver, didn't do anything for black people, you still go run out and vote for them. It's from the old and some of the young too. It's like I said before, you just want the white supremacists just to take the pressure off your neck. He can keep his boot on your neck. That's fine. Just take the pressure off where I can breathe good and all that. Don't put it where I feel like I'm about to die. Don't do that. If I want that part away. But if you can keep your foot on your neck, you can run everything. We don't want to run nothing. We don't want to own no businesses. We don't want to control nothing. Just if you just don't be racist toward us and give us jobs and just let us have our time to party and drink and everything and buy Jordans and smoke reefer and everything else. And then we good. We won't have a thing to say. Mr. White Man, you could run the country for another 1,000 years if you want to. We don't care. Just as long as you treat us that way, we feel like we in heaven on earth. And I just don't relate to that. And there's a lot of black people who feel like me that don't relate to that mindset. And to those black people, we need to get our own enclave somewhere away from that group and build something away from them. Because a lot of you say that feel you don't fit in. Because you don't think like that. You don't. You're a builder. That's who you are. You truly have the spirit of your ancestors in you because your ancestors were builders. They didn't lay around waiting for the slave master to give them everything. They were builders. That's who they were. And that's how some of you feel. You are a builder. You create. You want to continue to do more. But unfortunately, some people in this community is holding you down. It's not always the white supremacists that's holding us down. It is some in our own community that's trying to hold you down and even hold you back from doing what you're doing. You want to do something great, you share it, they talk down on it. Try to discourage you. Try to put you down. Who you think you are doing that? You ain't did nobody be doing that. They because that's how they think. They think they not nobody to do anything. Understand? They think lower themselves. That's why I tell people, don't share your dreams and visions with nobody except people that's trusted that you could talk to. And it gets to a point you got to hang with people that think like you and at your level because you can't hang with those kind of people who have a destructive mentality even in their own life. The Democrats have done nothing for black people. And I'll continue to preach that message until Democrats change that. And then I will change what I'm saying because I could actually say they did something for black people. And then the Shills will be like, well, the American Rescue Plan, he did this. Have any of you felt any great thing from that? No, you didn't. You didn't feel a thing. So you do nothing for black people. That was for your government and people that's attached to government contracts and corporations. Okay, the HBCU's got some money. The average person need to eat every day. They ain't going to no HBCU. They need to pay the light bill. So tell me about some billions of dollars HBCU don't. Well, so some of them squander it because a lot of them squandering money up there in a lot of these universities. We know this. Ask Deion Sanders about that one. Well, let me know what y'all think about Ice Cube and what he had to say. Just that little bit he did say got people pissed off. And he needs to keep pissing people off because the truth is the Democrats don't do nothing for black people. They are very anti-black.